again for a second take of the live stream. Different laptop, same webcam, different face cam, which is showing a little bit of flicker. We've got the microphone plugged in. It appears to be working. I checked out the sound on the last stream that recorded and saved via YouTube, not saved on the hard drive. So we should be good to go for take two. 16 gig of RAM, quad core, whatever it is, graphics card. Hopefully it should be able to sustain us, although it is rather loud. I'm just going to let it warm up again. It says I'm live. It says I've got two. Hopefully it's two of the people that were watching before, and obviously without your feedback it makes things very difficult. Get rid of that so we don't get any feedback. Two in, no chat. Got my face. OBS had to be updated and installed. Webcam drivers had to be installed, and it does appear to be looking a lot better, although I'm not sure if we'll be up for long, because it does show a orange on the stream, whereas before it was green. That could mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. We just don't know. Put my tongue away. That's working. That's working. A little bit of flicker on my face, but there's nothing I can do about that. Doesn't appear to be coming through as bad on the screen, second screen, tablet screen. 4 in, no comments. Let us know what it's doing. Is it good? Is it bad? We just don't know. Should it fall short again, we might have to scrap it permanently for the foreseeable future, as there is not much else I can do on my end. Four in, no comments. What am I doing? I'm just spot welding these fuses. I think they're 3 amp fuses onto a apparently nickel strip. I have my reservations about this nickel strip because it's not welding as good as it should. And I think I've got a shonky or poor quality batch on here, so I'm going to be doing something about this set of 7 cells, which has set me back a little bit on this run of 7. Set me back because I'm going to have to do something to bolster the poor conductivity qualities by adding a copper bar on top, just to make sure things are as they should be. So in total I want 28 packs of 60 cells, totaling approximately 120 amp hours, giving me just over 12 kilowatts of storage, of which I plan to use about half, hopefully prolonging the life of these medium quality cells for as long as possible, because I'm poor. I've got 5 of you in, I've got no chat on that, so let's just check the YouTube stream on the computer, which says there's no comments. So I guess either it's meeting everyone's expectations so far, or you're just watching a screen with me moving about and no sound. Check the audio on here. We haven't got many European streamers, and I certainly don't want to be one at the forefront. So I want to encourage some of the European, British, French, German, Dutch, anybody out there to stream, so I don't have to do it so much. But then again, I am here because I have very little time to set up a camera, edit, record, edit, and throw up. Didn't go to plan. Did not go to plan. So I'm thinking this is a substandard nickel strip because I'm burning through it too easily. I wonder if I can get another weld on that one. I need goggles. Ah! Teach me. It's a little bit warm. Here's my sandpaper. Give it a clean. Twice. Bit me. Don't know where my sandpaper is. I've got 5 in, no chat. Give us a heads up, let us know it's working. Also rummage. Oh, it's a good one. Singed it. Singed it. Hello again, James B. Is it working? Is it better than before? That's all we want to know before we really get into this. Look, I'll show you that. Not only have I singed my finger, I've also got blood. Blood. Stream is better and not buffering anymore. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm guessing a laptop running at 60% capacity is not good enough for streaming. The big question is, can you hear the sound of the laptop which is running this stream? It's it needs a new fan really, but it's time, money, and obviously if I send it away, it's away for a long period of time, and God knows how much they're going to charge me to replace the fan. Yeah. It does smart a little bit, but it's not going to stop me this evening. I've had 2 accidents this evening already. Can't find my sandpaper. Mic issue. One second. I think it's running on the desktop mic. Good now. Brilliant. Right, okay. Just wish I didn't have to, you know. How long have we been? About 45-50 minutes I've been trying to get this all running. I could have had this pack sort of mostly spot welded by now, but it is what it is. But hopefully, well, I'll have to leave this laptop down here now. I'm not unplugging everything and putting everything back together. So, any questions? Any comments? Any ideas? Anything? Let's keep it going. Whilst I get some more sandpaper. Off to a good start so far. Yeah, right, we've got 7 people in, we've got 1 person commenting. Thank you, James. So, obviously, I don't know if you know what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to build a 12 kilowatt power wall. It seems to be the in thing to be doing. I did start processing small quantities of cells prior to the Powerwall craze, and I was cutting the tabs off and using TP18650's with crocodile clips on the nickel strip. So I got a fair bit of experience processing them, but I was just using IMAX B6. The Powerwall weld introduced me to the BTC Opus BTC 3100, and obviously I have enough cells here processed and in storage to build 28 of these. 28, giving us 12 kilowatts of storage, of which we only really want to use 6. I live in England, UK, England, so in the winter we pretty much get no sun. So in order to preserve the life further, I have to think about either increasing solar panel array size, which is next to impossible at this moment in time due to funds, or make a power which is going to be able to be alright with being half discharged for a length of time, the winter. So we're actually on pack. It's quite demoralising. Pack 12 of 28. I have all the necessary materials to hand to build these packs. It's the time, and I can only thank my subscribers and contributors for getting me to this point, because without AdSense and the revenue from that, I would not have the amount of stock that I have to do the whole project, to go whole hog. So it's down to everyone else that's watching. Nice to see you sort out live stream, says Mark. Thank you very much. It took a lot of stress, a lot of effort to get this point, but as I say, hopefully now we'll be able to maybe do half hour here, half hour there, get more feedback. The comment system in my mind is not great. I need more avenues of sort of dialogue. If I could have someone on hand, be it their own will, just to say, I don't think that's right, do that a different way, then it feels a lot more, well, obviously more like a community. It says on my bar that I've got 3,700 subscribers, not many of them are active. My video upload preferences have changed a lot in the years I've been doing this, but I'm thankful that I've got the number to a suitable amount to achieve the AdSense thing. I know a lot of people use ad blocker and things like that, but what I get is what I get. Mark enjoys watching my videos, so I've got a couple of questions as you're in and watching. Obviously I'm in the UK, and I'm not trying to copy anyone else's live stream here, but where are we watching from? And if you haven't commented yet, where are you? Whereabouts are you? Obviously it is now 8:10 at night, Friday night, in England, the UK, and yeah. So whereabouts are you? What time is it there? Because I'm kind of interested. And are you building a power wall, or looking at building a power wall, or here because I popped up on your feed. What can I do to please the subscribers more? Basingstoke. Oh, not far away. No, not far away. I'm in Kent. You could say Medway. Crawley. So that's Essex. Northwest of England. Ah, Dave's been with me a long time. Dave puts a lot of comments down sometimes. Dave does get into it. So we've got Basingstoke, Crawley, Northwest England, Basingstoke. Is a small weld. I was looking at Bernard Powell, living off grid until I moved into. Powell is like it's like a craze, isn't it? Everyone's building Powells. What's going to be the next big craze? So what I've got here is a very poor quality nickel strip, or a steel coated nickel strip, and it came from a seller that I've been using for quite a while, and all of a sudden I get a duff batch. I've got that much left. I've probably got enough for another 5 packs, but I'm cutting my losses with this last 2.5 packs. I am going to go through the hassle of actually spot welding this stuff on, whether it burns the hole through or not, and I'm going to have to be putting an extra copper layer on top because I'm stubborn. So I've already done a few packs on and off, so there's actually going to be an extra copper bar on top. I went with the, I think, 12 by 0.15mm nickel strip, and it's rated at 35 amp, and obviously got a continuous strip up one side, along and back down, joined together with a crimp eye in the end, and it should be rated at obviously 70 amp. Obviously derating that. I'm never going to pull 70 amp from these packs. It's going to be more like 40. I don't know. Yeah, say 40 max. So to increase the current carrying capacity without losses, I've got this 4.5mm loop. It's actually 4.5mm down one side and back, so it's actually 9mm, so just shy of 10mm on a cooker or shower circuit. As an electrician, I would say it could be around, put me on the spot, why don't I, 10mm, depending on the run, how it's run and all that. AC could be 60 amp if it's a very short run, down to 35 amp if it's run through copious amounts of insulation and stuff. But obviously this is going to be a short run, 9mm. We'll just say we've added about 30 amp of capacity. I don't know how the DC rules work, to be honest. Got one in Nottingham, Sussex. The processing cells got 20p 9 built pack, built box. Right, so Mark Basingstoke has built a solar backup box, but lead. Is it lead acid batteries failed you, or the batteries that you had? 18650's or lithium cells failed you, Mark. Hove. We got someone from Hove. That's the other way. Did you know? Who are we? Kilgore. There's a company called Bimble Solar, and they have a lot of stock of solar panels down in Brighton, that way. Brighton and Hove. Am I thinking the same place? Brighton Hove Council. But Bimble Solar have 250 watt solar panels for £99. I haven't bought from them,
I'm hoping to buy for them because they've got some very nice panels, but I haven't got the money to buy the panels that I want. James, have you seen those battery belt type nickel strip? Is that the one with the little the little nick in the middle? So you put your there's a slot in the middle. You put your thing across it, and you weld across the slot. It gives you a better weld. Or is it the ladder type where you can weld two sets of cells together? Mark, not Mark, James. Dave has a 126 cell pack on his desk. It's set up 1S. I think I saw that in one of your videos. And then it's set up with 1.2, but cells are out of whack. If you've gone out of balance, could you try with just like an IMAX B6 and charge up one parallel string at a time over a couple of days? Charge once, obviously with crocodile clips, or solder a couple of tabs on, and use your hobby charger like IMAX to charge up one row of cells, the next row of cells, the next row of cells, until they're all in balance. I haven't really found any PCB that I rate from China that balances. I've seen other people use them, but I haven't got the disposable income to waste on a PCB that might not balance or might not meet my needs. So at the moment I'm manually balancing. By that I mean looking at the balance charger and seeing if it's in whack. Not a balance charger, you know, multimeter. Look at that every day, morning and night. If it goes out of whack, turn it off. Yeah, James says it is the ladder type. I have seen it. It does seem quite expensive, but I don't think it meets. It might meet the needs for the negative side, but I think it's quite expensive for what it is. There was a company in Tunbridge that I was going to buy some stuff from, but I went with another. So there is a local supplier of that ladder stuff, and they sold me the good nickel strip, and that's in a bag in a box somewhere. Could be anywhere. Yorkshire was selling 200, so yeah. I don't know if, I think I mentioned this in another live stream. The discount solar panels are a couple of years old. They've been installed on a solar panel. A solar farm, when they first started up, had 200 watt solar panels. They've paid them off through generating power, and then they've upgraded to 250 watt solar panels, and then they've paid them off, and then the 300 watt solar panels come out, and they're gradually increasing the amount of power they can put out on the solar farm by upgrading their panels every time. So obviously there's a lot of surplus stock now coming onto the market in the UK. So obviously Dave Simpson said he's found some in Yorkshire, and obviously there must be a very big solar farm down near Brighton that's doing the same thing. It's all very interesting stuff. Whilst we're talking about solar panels, before I read any more of the comments, I found some LG solar panels which are £310 each. They are actually on the Bimble Solar website, so you can go and have a look yourself, but they are 390 watt rated, with the caveat that they can be up to 500 watt each. So looking at the size of them, they're a metre by 2 metres, so they are pretty hench in terms of solar panels. 22 kilos each, 1 metre by 2 metres. And what got me interested in looking at these LG panels is they said 390, but if you're sizing this for a MPPT system, make sure that you size it as a 500. And I couldn't figure out, so I had a look on the spec sheet, and then went across and had a look at the LG just LG website, and these solar panels have a clear backing sheet, and these solar panels are designed to go on a white building, a white boat, a reflective surface. So in layman's terms, sun can go through the panel and get bounced back up, and I thought it was pretty cool. So £310 for each panel, but potential of putting out 500 watts, and it just got me thinking, it's going to take me about 6 months, 8 months of saving up the YouTube AdSense money to buy one of these panels, just so I can put a mirror behind it and see if it actually made any more difference than putting a white sheet behind it. But you know, it's one of those things. I'm playing the lottery, so I'm now way behind on the chat. And obviously I'm not getting anything done now. That's alright though. Oh no, I'm not. There we go. 250. Right. Too high. What resistance would you class as too high? Internal resistance wise, I have 2,400 milliamp cells with 290 milliamp. Let's grab. There's something else I've fallen short on. I was actually going to make a point of doing lots and lots and lots. What's that doing? Does the Opus do internal resistance? I have fallen short. Oh no, it does. Quick test. Is it quick test? I think it's quick test. I just run a cell through this a couple of times. No. I'll get back to you 1 second. Just checking one of my really good cells. Right, in terms of internal resistance, it seems to be omitted by a lot of people building and designing Powerwalls. It was something I was going to make a point of doing at the very beginning, but not using or relying on an Opus or a electronic device to do, but instead use two resistors and take the delta. Use the delta thing, which I can't remember, to calculate the internal resistance. I've fallen short and not done that. I've more to the point, I've relied on what everyone else has relied on. That is, when you're charging them for the first time, you see if they get hot. When you're discharging them, see if they get hot. Obviously they're going to get warm, discharging at 1 amp. Resting them and then charging them up again, see if they get hot. If they get more than touch hot, then they go in the recycle pile. This hasn't come back to bite anyone as of yet, but it could well do, to be honest. So I wouldn't see 290 is too high, but then again we're looking at quantity of cells together. If your other cells are coming up with a better number, then maybe not put it with them. My good cells coming back 172, and my rubbishy Sanyo with less than a third of its original capacity is coming up 150. We'll try a few more whilst we're on this subject, but I don't think, yeah, see, another Sanyo's come up 130, so I'm not sure if I really trust. And I've got a very low capacity LG mustard brown cell here, which is coming up 180, so it's not far off the really good cell, and the really good cell is an LG oh, okay, it's rubbed off. LG ABC 18650. So I've got loads of these and they tend to be coming up really good, but if you test the internal resistance, maybe not so much. But I have put a lot of power through them and they haven't complained on some tests. If you're that worried about the internal resistance, then maybe set them to the side and put them in their own pack together, and when they're in service, see if that pack is not performing as it should be. Solar farms still look good. What I think is even better is the fact that they actually still use sheep to graze underneath them, so they haven't actually lost any grazing space. It just it gives better welfare for the animals. Little car. I haven't actually got one of them, but I'm open to using different test devices. So, where did you purchase your little Carla from? Because the Opus BTC, and I've done 1400 cells with 2 Opus BTC 3100s. I've only recently got these other modules which you can't see on screen. I actually can't. Oh, you can see on screen. Yeah. Sorry, it's just my finger. Yeah, I've only recently got them for discharging the pouch cells. But what I might do, because obviously I'm getting an entirely new set of results for testing these large pouch cells, is get a known cell on the Opus and then figure out if it's any difference to this. Obviously capacity might be higher because these run on a resistor, so there's no constant current load, so as the voltage goes down, the load goes down on the discharge. So I'm actually discharging these at 1/2 amp because I've got one resistor out, but it's I find you get better results from the pouch cells, and these pouch cells I'm not going to be stressing possibly as much as the 18650's going into these cells. So yeah, let me know where you got the little Carla from, because the Opus BTC 3100s are getting quite expensive because everyone's buying them and they've put the price up. About £63 if you want it from Amazon, and if you buy it from China, still about £30. They've gone up about 6 quid, 6-7 quid. Yeah, so you gave up in the end. Check for heat. Yeah. It's more intuitive. If it's wrong now, then bin it. We've got 10 in the room, Dave says. Dave says his pack in the room goes from 1500 milliamp hours to 2100s in parallel, so not bothered about lack of balance. Well, as long as you're running it in the middle, doesn't matter so much, does it? If you've watched my videos, then you'll have seen my temporary Powerwall. It's nothing to be proud of. It holds about 3 kilowatts. I skimmed the top kilowatt off, so as not to overstress it too much whilst I'm doing this. All of my 18650's and all of these pouch cells have been charged and discharged off of that Powerwall. Obviously we're having less power being pulled through that system now with 480 watts of solar panels and a 3 kilowatt battery. Obviously I should technically have more solar panels for that size of array. It's not how you would do it in the lead acid world. In the lead acid world, you size your solar array to charge a set of batteries in a certain amount of time. I've not done it that way, and I'll live with it. I haven't got the space for many more solar panels, so we'll have to think next year on that. So you got yours on AliExpress. Okay, I haven't really purchased from AliExpress. Everyone says it takes a long time to order from AliExpress, but £14 with a power supply, I can't complain. That's a good price. 1 second. I wouldn't rip your pack apart just yet, Dave. I mean, how long's it been together? My Powerwall 3 kilowatt temporary Powerwall is starting to go out of balance, but not enough to upset anything if it was to reach its full voltage. So I wouldn't rip it apart just yet. I'd get the hobby charger on it first and put a few amp hours into each parallel section to try and bring it more in balance. Failing that, what I was doing on the Powerwall, temporary Powerwall, was I bought a... Okay, I've got lots of cheap Chinese electronics, but what I was doing was, because there's connectors on the bottom of each row of cells, I was connecting up a USB adapter from a power bank, just a pound one from Powerland, you know, that sort of thing, and I was charging a 5,000 milliamp power bank off of that USB connector and bringing them down in line better, so it's fizzy. So £14 for little car or whatever, and Amazon is about £60 in the UK if you want a BTC 3100, and I think they're about £40, £35–40 are on eBay. But who do you trust on eBay? That's the thing. Dave wants to use the spreadsheet, which is Repacker, isn't it? I've used Repacker for smaller packs, but I am not using Repacker for the bigger packs. I am balancing it on capacity alone and allowing a bit for error. So we're looking for roughly between 54 to 60 cells per pack to get the 120 amp hour. So you can see on when I was designing 80 amp hour packs that they were running a little bit out, so 80.2 amp hours and 80.035 amp hours. So they were running out slightly, but as we're not charging to 4.2, we're not discharging to the rock bottom. Hopefully we can keep it sort of safe in the middle. Yeah, the repacker system is tedious, and if you think you've got 60 cells here times 7, putting them cells in repacker alone is definitely tedious. What it needs is a row type system, so you tell it how many cells across, you tell it how many cells along you'll put in each pack, and obviously how you've got them laid out on the floor. So say you've got them laid out in a 10 by 10 and you want 2 packs of 50, then as you enter the first capacity it puts a dot there, you put your cell there. As you enter the second capacity it puts a dot there, so you're putting the cells in a corresponding row corresponding to the number on the screen, and when you tell it yes, 2 packs of 50, it then lights up, highlights there, to say pick these cells out here for your first pack, and then when you click next it highlights the next set of cells. That's what it needs. I'm not a computer programmer, someone else can do that, but that would be my take on how to improve it for large scale cell picking and placing. Phone's gone off. Nothing interesting. We have the competition in the room, do we? Another spark. Industrial, commercial, or residential. Right. We've got 13 in the room. We seems to have caught up. So let's lay a few more fuses down. I'm fine for a bit. No idea how long I've been live for. These fuses are 3 amp. It's only really going to do anything if something catastrophic happens. I pull 180 amp from these packs. I think the plastic would melt first, to be honest. Well, hopefully through maybe one day, if I get a proper active balancer, that would take the strain off balancing and keeping things in check. It seems obviously we need to make sure at every stage there is a safety precaution of something or other in place, just in case. Spot where to stop working. So by having a 3 amp fuse that seems to pop around 4.5 amp, if one cell does go nuclear, we should be able to stop that cell from damaging the rest of the pack. Oh, not wanting to work. Does that mean we're going to have to solder everything else? It's got lights. He's not doing a dud no, is it? Ah, it's not working. That's going to make things a little bit more difficult, isn't it? You work on boats, caravans and small solar units, mostly stuck in crappy job in town putting in IT cables. I don't much like IT engineers because they can't run a cable. You end up tripping over them. There are hundreds of them in ceiling tiles, can't lift ceiling tiles, you wrap them around everything else. IT people. Ah, we're back. No idea. Couldn't tell you what was going on there. What I can tell you is this nickel strip is causing me trouble. Fake nickel strip. It's causing me trouble. Actually, the glass fuses aren't so bad. The leads and the glass fuses are a bit more substantial than the the resistor fuses that I've been using for the negatives. So there's no way on earth I'm going to be able to demonstrate the size of these together, but if you get the, it does seem, if you get the spot weld on an angle, you can quite easily weld it. Kind of. It's got a knack. It's certainly got a knack, but it is a lot easier. And as I'm no good at soldering, and I haven't improved over time, I can only say that yeah, it's the way to go. For me anyway. If you're any good at soldering, stick to it. If a cell does die, then 3 amp is not going to be much in the grand scheme of things flowing into it, especially when you're going to have approximately 240 other cells trying to equalise it at once. It's yet to be proven, I'll give it that, but we'll see. These cells, these batteries are going to be nursed just as much as my temporary wall, as I have no money and I can't seem to get a decent supply of cells to replace a pack if one pack was to go down. So I'll be down from 12 kilowatts, lose a pack down to 9 kilowatts, lose a pack, I'd be able to maintain that 9 kilowatts for a certain amount of time, but I can't actually see, there isn't the great supply of cells that people seem to be finding in America and Australia. So we're kind of stuck with that. But there is a waste company that I've been told that goes around all the IT places and they have bins and they collect them. They charge them £5 a kilo for recycling. So I can't remember the name of the company. It's like 5-6 letters. But if you can get in with them, you might be able to buy them by the pallet and distribute them to all the people that want to do these projects. Obviously at cost price, but be the British Jehu. I don't really do IT either. I've run a few Cat 5s. The bit that hurts is terminating it. I know it's only 8 cores, but you get it wrong once, you're going to get it wrong twice. And the third time you normally get it right. It's the little crimping tool that gets me. You've got to get them in the right order. I think I built a 4S20p pack, and the video is still out there. It's in a little yellow box, and I get so much slick on that video. It's unbelievable. Well, I leave it up because it's earning me money. A little bit at a time, only a penny here and a penny there, but you know, it counts. That was an untested. Well, it was tested on an iMax B6, but it wasn't particularly well balanced, and it was badly soldered together, and I think most of the comments are bang, but that's the way it goes. Let's get rid of some of them cell tags. Not particularly well. This isn't going to be the best pack in the world because it's Friday night after all. Let's say I want to get 6 kilowatts ready for the new year. Get 6 kilowatt system in place and possibly tag in the temporary power wall to give us 9. Then I've got to try and scrounge a 24 volt inverter, something that's bigger than 600 watts, because that's all I have is a 600 watt inverter. And if I can get that in place, then there might be odd days where you can, like, say for example, run the washing machine just once, not use any other power that day during spring or winter. But it will be quite an interesting experiment to do. Well, certainly for me, if I could just say this week I washed all the washing using solar power. All my friends think I'm mad. Everyone thinks I'm mad. You've got to be mad to survive in this world, I think, anyway. So, when I did the first pack, I think I destroyed as many glass cell fuses as I fixed. So I ordered enough enough glass fuses to do all my packs plus 50%. But it seems to be improving my welding skills with this little pin thing wand as I go. So I'm gonna have a few left over, I think, possibly for future projects. But this is I'm burning holes in this lead, nickel coated steel left, right and centre. But if I have it any lower, it just doesn't stick, doesn't adhere. I think I've got a poor quality area on this steel coated nickel strip, because that area just won't adhere. It won't solder, it won't do anything. We missed. That's the thing when designing a pack. Once you've soldered it or welded it together and you want to change its use, it's very difficult. Like Dave says, it's gone from one single series to three series and back again. So it is very difficult to change the use of some packs. Sometimes you've got to lump it. I have a remote station which I use for my Ryobi batteries. So if I need 12 volts to solder, I've got a 30 watt soldering iron which is 12 volts. I can just put a Ryobi battery in it and plug it in on banana plugs. Served me well. Had a lot of trouble with a power supply unit for two security doors. Not security, well, they are security doors, but there's no it's mag lock and push button. There's no card reader or anything like that. And the problem I've been having is it wouldn't work. But when I put the 12 volt supply on it from the Ryobi pack, it would work. So I said we either need to change the transformer or it's not charging. But I actually didn't have the part on me to say whether it was charging, that little clamp meter. So we took a guess and changed the transformer, but it wasn't. It was the little charge unit for the lead acid. So but the little 12 volt pack proved that the system worked. Just one of those parts in the PSU had gone on. And it's pot luck. And we got it wrong. Right, let's get rid of the hedgehog. Hans Klaus, what up, Pete? Pete's alright. Pete says it's 10 to 9 on a Friday night in the UK. Hans, are you in the UK? Or are you watching from abroad? Or what brought you here? Have you watched me before? Got 14 in the room. 14 people. Well, no, actually, we've got 12 in the room which aren't talking. It's alright because if you're all talking to me at once, I can't get anything done. But that's okay. Not moaning. I think just I came in to get stuff done. Spent 40 minutes setting up the camera, changed the laptop out, have a chat. Nothing here tells me how long I've been online, and I've forgot by now. Memory like a fish. I'm gonna finish this row, and I'm gonna have to nip indoors to use the loo. Voice chat. Dave says voice chat is faster. That's why I'm doing this. It's much easier, quicker to get feedback and have a chat than it is to type a message on the YouTube on a video. If you put a comment on the video, who knows when you're going to get a reply, especially if you send me a message. But if I do a live stream and actually get it to work, then it's a case of talk to me all you want. It's been like an hour now. So whilst you're watching me fiddle about on my Friday night, what are you actually up to? What are you doing? What are you doing whilst watching me? Are you sitting on the computer? Are you perusing the internet? Doing some shopping? Watching TV? Is your other half asleep? Your first attempt was an hour ago, so about an hour. Yeah, so about an hour. Yeah, so I'm going to do this row, and then I've got to go and use the loo. Don't know what the temperature is down here. It's not as warm as indoors. Is that 15 degrees down here? But it's an ambient. It's been that temperature all year because we're under the house. We're under the house. Good for keeping wine if you don't drink it. Yeah, you're watching TV, sitting at a PC, watching, listening to second canon John Smith. John Smith's is nice. John Smith's is nice and smooth. John Smith's is the drink that you can, or the bitter that you can drink all night long. It's almost like a session bitter. It's raining. Sat with the dog, watching this. Glass of wine. Red, white, or rosé. I like red. Red or beer, or ale, should I say? In the southeast, it's nice and dry. For now. Did say rain. Did say it was going to rain. It can rain all night as much as it wants, as long as it don't rain tomorrow. We're missing some of the more prominent viewers that have attended my live streams in the past, and I'm just thinking, if they came on, we all need to persuade the higher quality YouTube stars to do more live streams, because we haven't got many live streamers in Europe. Not to do with off-grid or what do you call it, PAL, like processing technology sort of thing. I'm not the sort of person that leads. I follow at a safe distance, of course. Listening. Festy's having a listen and browsing. Yeah, that's it. That's right. I don't mind being in the background. I'm not that pretty. few more cells and then I'll have to disappear quickly. I'll show off a couple of other things when I get back, I think. I just missed them two out there for now because that'd be easier than 4. Done. Ah, oh, I missed out on that row. Oh, that's gonna have to wait a second. Things are getting more urgent. Let's catch up. White today. Yeah, I prefer red wine. It's more filling, more flavour. Watching last posted, watching on the iPad. Any plans to add the heating in the undercroft? I have a couple of second-hand odd electrical heaters. I had one down here last year. It was 750 watt panel heater. It was alright, but it's French, so I haven't really got the instructions to get it running as it should be. I have a 2 kilowatt heater somewhere, like fan heater, but it's no good. I might plumb and put a radiator. Oh, here's the thing. Do I do a ceiling mounted radiator and just have it so it radiates and heats my head up? Because if your head's warm, your body's warm. Or do I put over here? I know it's small. I'm sorry, I can't do much without that. Or can I? You're gonna have to deal with a flicker. Ugh. Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with a flicker because I haven't figured out the webcam settings for this one, whereas the other one was pointy stick. Do I put some sort of vertical radiator there, or do I put something above my head? And that's just a bit of tape to stop the flicker, but it didn't work. So I could put something there, or maybe something that goes behind these racks, and this is a low quality camera, so it's not doing much. But there's not much I can do. I've still got 50 gigabytes of raw footage to put into time lapse. It's about 75% there, but the computer throws a wobbly when I put in large amounts, so I have to edit 6 or 7 clips together until I've edited them all together. Then I have to edit 2 or 3 together, and then it crashes and I have to re-edit them together. It's a lot of trouble. I'm getting there, so you might have it for Christmas or New Year. Dave says, Wish is a terrible invention. I bought one thing off Wish. It took 2 months to arrive, and then I installed the app because they kept sending me push notifications. So I buy from Banggood, Amazon, and eBay. Yeah, still waiting. Yeah, well, this is what you get today, and that widescreen thing is that you had is what you're getting for the rest of the year. It's currently covered in PCB chippings from my my latest endeavour into saving scrap cells. Dave says we'd have it under the desk. That's not a bad idea. Have the heat radiate from underneath the desk to your legs. That's good. I suppose if your feet are happy, the rest of your body's happy as well. So, heater matrix from a car and fan. Oh, I just saw the other day or today, Mr. Julian Eilert received a nice 8 kilowatt diesel heater from Amazon. And I was just wondering how efficient would one of those be. If I could get hold of one of them, I could have it heating away in the lean-to and piping hot air in here. And on the flip side of that, if the power was to go out and I wasn't able to get the boiler onto the battery backup to fire up, I could possibly pipe the hot air upwards. Obviously it'd have to come past me and all the racking. I can't move any of these cameras, unfortunately. No, that one's screwed up. I can move this one, but it's low quality. It would have to come 12 foot across here with the ducting to get into the next bit to go up through the floor, because it's been carpeted, so it's not messing about. Putting a hole in the floor now for a hot air duct. Under the desk sounds good. Motion sensor, heater, disco lights. Anything's possible. Just got to send me the electronics. I've only had one bad experience on eBay. No, it's kind of redundancy, isn't it? If you've got it when you need it, it doesn't matter so much if it's too clean. I suppose I shouldn't really be advocating the diesel heater when I'm trying to save cells and save energy and do my thing for saving the planet, I guess. But then again, I am buying stuff from China, and obviously it comes in the slow boat, and boats aren't very clean. So maybe after I've done this, we'll have to have a green drive. Ouch! God, yeah. We're in the wars tonight. Tax on fuel, yeah, you can get red diesel though. Red diesel's meant to be cheaper, 70p a litre. Could run it on vegetable oil. It'd have to be very, very finely processed, I guess. Heated the shed outside on used fryer fat. It was I got it down to a T, but I never really managed to produce any videos on it because half the time I was covered in oil. So the shed will be partially heated. It's just a wicking system where it heats the oil and wicks it, and then it drips down and around and underneath the wick, so it can burn. A bit sooty. There must be a cleaner way of doing it. I'll probably try and do a little bit more this year on it, but I managed to keep the shed above 10 degrees for the entire winter on surplus or vegetable oil that was thrown out by schools. What I'd do is ask them very nice. If I was working in school, I'd ask them very nicely. If I was working in the kitchen, if I could have a couple of litres of used vegetable oil for my shed heater, and 9 times out of 10 they say, yeah, go on, or take the lot. But some schools or catering companies say, if you recycle your vegetable oil for us, we'll give you free vegetable oil. Well, a certain amount of free vegetable oil next time you order, so it's a bit finicky. Don't say you can take it all, because then they don't get the free. Wood would be cheaper because I can get hold of wood everywhere, but having an open fire down here would not be a good idea. I haven't really got anywhere to put an open fire or log burner in the house. I've got the hearth to prove it, but obviously where they put a an extra room in the loft, it would go. The chimney would go through the window, so not feasible. Rocket stove, yeah, could have a rocket stove. Somebody said a little while back, and I've lost the comment now, something about tying in the excess hot water. I could do. That the excess hot water is just a system of dumping any excess solar power into a small tank with a heating element, so that at the end of the year I can see exactly how much power a 480 watt solar system where I'm living can produce in a year. It's what I've got to work with. I'd rather dump the excess into a tank and then have that measurement at the end of the year, so I can see exactly how many watt hours has come through my system. whether it be used on the 24 volt 12 volt system for charging discharging batteries, or the inverter system for running the TV upstairs and my laptops and things. You are currently off grid. This is streaming off grid. The internet isn't off grid, but this is currently streaming through the computer off grid. I want that number so I can see what I can achieve next year. So it's just a measurement device at the moment. It's not actually doing much. If I get a full tank of 5 litres of hot water, I will dump it out and use that for the washing up. Obviously, up until a couple of months ago, it wasn't saving any money because we were heating a hot water tank for washers, baths, cleaning stuff and that. So that 5 litres wasn't saving gas, because the tank still had to be heated to a certain temperature for the bath that evening or that next morning. So now we've the kitchen got ripped out and upgraded, and this is a video to come on that, but we're having troubles with the kitchen fit. Where am I? But now we've got a combination boiler which only fires up when you want hot water, heating an external tank for that purpose, and me using that. If I had, well, I've got a 25 litre tank somewhere in the garden, it's buried. But in the summer, if I heat that 25 litres and then run a shallow bath with it and use that, then I'm offsetting my gas usage. So that's a plus. So it's not feasible for like a mass storage solution at the moment. So say I had 500 litres of water to my left in a tank, well insulated, and I heated that water up to say 40 degrees in the winter, and then had a system whereby it would allow air to pass through and heat the upstairs, like I'm using the water as a mass, storing the heat in the mass to release it at a later date, like a storage heater, then it would be good, because the upstairs would never be cold, and nor down here. But I haven't got the solar to do that. You could possibly do that with a log burner, wood burner, but I'd have to pipe that hot water in and heat that from out there, and I'd probably be outside stoking a fire most of the evening to keep that water up to a certain temperature. It's a good idea. Want to do it, haven't got the money, haven't got the time. Last post says make a heater with tea candles and terracotta pot. I've done that many years back. It got many views. It got many views. Most people were naysaying, but it does work. I think I got about 8,000 views on that video. Let's have a look. I think it's about 4 years back, the last post. I'd have a trawl through my videos. I had some music on it as well, because I started putting music on videos to see if they actually improve the quality of things, but no, they just get you copyright strikes and people getting fussy, and it's not worth putting music on videos. What do they call it? Production values. I think it was before I lived here, so it must have been about 4 years back, 5 years back, 2 years. Years. No, it won't let me scroll any further. Alright, we're going to red on the stream for some reason, so I don't know if we're still. Yeah, so over 3 years back, so you can have a look back through there, Mr. Last Post, and see if it gets you anywhere. What would you have to feed constantly? Are you talking amongst themselves, or is that about the rocket stove or something? I do like the rocket mass heaters, where they burn a small amount of wood and store the heat in the mass, but I don't think I've even got the spot to do that. If I had a ready supply of materials that were free, I could have a go. For example, I could put it there down in the corner there, and just build it up with the carb of the barn and everything. Have a little burn hole, burn it, and have the tube going zigzagging around, and then out for the lean-to where there wouldn't be any smoke. But I don't think. No, I definitely can't afford to spend any money on a tube. And it's not particularly cheap in the UK either, so it could be a lot of money wasted on a lost cause. Oh, I see what you mean now. The tea candle heater could raise the temperature in here. Well, I've just got my work jumper on and I covered up my name and that, but I'm not particularly cold, but I'm drinking beer. Alright, one more comment before I have to go and use the loo. Dave says underfloor heating could be a good idea. Feed every so often so you can leave it and it releases heat. It would be a good idea. In a modern house, they have like 100mm like hardcore compacted 100mm concrete, 75mm of insulation, and then above that you have your screed, and they normally put the underfloor heating in the screed, so no heat goes down, all the heat has to come up, so it wouldn't be any good down here. Plus you haven't seen the shape we're working with, but upstairs would be good. But I suppose I like the idea of using the water as a thermal mass heater, but that'll have to have a few years time. I collect a lot of materials. I've got stuff that I've had for years that I think I might use on a project or might come in handy sometime or other. So if the idea's in my head and I find the right things, then it gets put in the store. Dave says the underfloor heating instead of the water from the tank. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, if you pipe it into the floor direct when the heat is there, then you are charging up the floor in theory. That's an empty. You're putting the heat into the floor straight away rather than storing it in a mass. Okay, right. I will be back in a minute. Let's make sure I don't drop my phone. 1 minute. You don't get any fancy cutscene like Jehu here. I haven't figured that out yet. Oh, we are back. Oh, I'm back. Yeah. Let's have a catch up. Would you believe at the moment I leave, Mr. Adam Welch himself appears. What have you missed? Everyone else. Right, okay. If you want a quick catch up. She's back. Right, okay. Just going to read a few more. Okay, I think we got it. Right, so Adam's joined. We got Josh Lever, and everyone's wondering where I've gone. Well, I'm back. I went to the loo and then had to go and say hello to the cat because the cat was shouting at the kitchen door. Yeah, so what have you missed? Well, I've done about 60 cell fuses. Discussed the fact that I've got some Duff nickel strip. This is nickel coated steel, so I'm going to have to be putting extra copper bar on top, which I've done 4 already. It's gone quite well. They sit in the middle quite nicely. Obviously I planned this with 12 by 0.15 nickel, pure nickel strip, and it should be 35 amp rated, so 35 down one side, 35 the other, obviously joined in the middle, creating a ring. 70 amp, never going to draw 70 amp, therefore not a problem. But with this nickel coated steel which I've got, which obviously I'm not happy about, but we'll have to adapt and overcome. I don't really want to rip off the nickel strip of all the cells that I've done, so I'm going with it and improving the design. So obviously pack, well, I say 12 out of 14, and as I said, it's quite demoralizing because I realise I've still got another 14 to go after I've finished this. I want to get 6 kilowatts, that's 14 packs up and running by New Year, so I can introduce my new monitoring system. It's nothing fancy, it's off the shelf from China. And maybe incorporate my temporary power wall into that system, give us possibly 9 kilowatts of storage. Obviously I've only got 480 watts of solar panels, and in Britain, UK, England, and we're not going to really see much sun for the next few months, so use it wisely, I guess. I've seen some fancy solar panels on Bimble Solar which are 390 watts rated. They're 1 meters by 2 meters in area, but they have 2 numbers, 390 watts and 500. And the thing that caught my eye was, it says when designing for a MPPT system, make sure you calculate this panel as a 500 watt panel. Further investigations shows that it's got a clear backing on it, so if you have it on a white surface or a mirrored surface, it projects sunlight back up and through the solar cells from the other side, allowing this 390 watt solar panel to potentially reach 500 watts, but they're £310 each. So I would love to get all around them. And that's Bimble Solar, if anyone wants to have a look. Apart from that, we've just been musing and talking various projects and things. not much work getting done. We had a little bit of trouble getting the stream up and running since the last failed stream. I run a network cable down to this undercroft and set it all up again. Now I'm better, recovered. I haven't been well. Thought we'd have another go, but it wasn't much better. So we swapped out the laptop for another laptop, which I was hesitant to do because it sounds like it wants to take off because the fan needs changing, but it's going to cost lots of money to repair. So, but it's working. It's come up a lot better. So we'll leave that in place for the next time. Wants to power one radiator for 4 hours a day, Mr. CRBST. So I guess we need. I'm interested to know what size radiator. You can get element kits, can't you, for certain radiators, like the bathroom radiators. So would it be something you can install one of the little 600 watt element in? Cut the end off. So would it be a 600 watt times 4 hours, or are you thinking something a bit bigger? What size room is it? No fuses on the bottom, just the tip of a resistor. Mr. Dave. Can't get it. Just the tip of a resistor. It goes happily between the two cells across the nickel strip. Does a good job. Adam's got a charge controller that he needs to look at, so he wants the sun. I have a question for Adam. The Tracer series, I think I've got the 40 amp version off the top of my head. Have they got current limiting on? Or if I oversize my array and it produces too much power, am I going to pop it? I'm just thinking about the future here. Weather update, it is now raining in the southeast. I got wet when I left. Yeah, so does the EP of a Tracer series have a current limiting feature? So if you have too much sun coming through, it doesn't pop the charger. Something I was meant to look at, but I haven't looked at yet. When I was preparing these ahead of time, I actually done this the day before and weighted them so it had something to adhere to and time to cure. Because I'm running out of time to do this, just having to silicon it in, ready, and hope the fuses and resistor leads are enough to hold it in place. So we're undecided on the current limiting yet. I'll have to try and find the manual. See if I can pick up any more information. It's just the listing that I said about the 390 watt solar panel that acts as a 500 watt solar panel said if you're running a EP of a tracer series, then don't worry about oversizing because it has current limiting. But I've not had the time to look at that, and as I'll really be impressed or quite thrilled to get hold of one of these LG solar panels, because I just want to try it with a white backing behind the initial frame of the solar panel to see if there's any increase, or because they say there's a 26% increase on the 390 watts you get with a white roof behind it. So I was wondering if I could get hold of one of these solar panels. I could put a white sheet behind it. But what if I put a mirror behind it? You know, it's just one of those curiosities. And it said, obviously, if you run an EP of a tracer series, then don't worry about the oversizing. It won't damage your equipment. Guess there's only really one way to find out. So, as we've recently inherited Mr. Adam Welch and a Josh Lever, what are you up to this evening? I know Adam's in the UK. Is Josh in the UK as well? Or are you watching from abroad, Europe, America, Asia, Australia? Let us know. We've got 15 in, but we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 active like people in the chat. So let's see where you're from, what you're up to, what you're doing, what you're doing whilst watching me. Am I in the background? Am I not pretty enough to be on the front? Am I not interesting enough? Oh, I've got something to show you. What is it? Lincolnshire. So actually everybody that has commented on this stream is in England. Can you tell what it is yet? Oh, should I say that? I don't think that's right, is it? That's probably a banned phrase. What have I got here? Does anyone know? Wiltshire. Does anyone know what I've got here? Obviously, it might have been seen online on another person's channel. Right, okay. Who's? Janus? Jehu. Jehu. I just call him Jag because it's easier, because he had the Jag 35 or something channel. Yes, I've managed to get a hold of a couple of just 2 of these version 1.1s. I bought them from a chap in the UK who had some surplus. He was knocking them out for £8.50 each. I picked up 2 for a portable project that might be coming to YouTube very soon. Just want something to put my high quality, high drain cells in for now, so that I can use them without actually soldering them together into something permanent, and I thought that might do for now. £8.50 each, and if you're interested, I'll sling the link in the description after I finish the live stream to the chap. He had a few left last time I had a word. He's near Portsmouth somewhere. Let's have a look. Let's see what we got. Oh dear, fizzy beer. So he was selling the kits, £8.50 each. Version 1.1 Powerwall board with all of the components you see pre-assembled, minus the obviously the XT60 out to solder. I'm still trying to find some sort of standoff to connect the 2 together. About half a metre of the cable and 2 connectors. Obviously, I damaged one and had to glue it. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I wish it came as a kit and I could have built it myself. Try and improve my soldering skills. But the chap was DAR-RYL, Daryl, basically. On eBay. I can't physically see if he's got any more at this moment in time. Hasn't got a buy any more button, but he had a few left the other day. You have to do a cell swap. So we got, hang on, did I miss, so Adam's having a cheeky beer and relaxing, which is unfortunately what I do most nights. Josh's, his wife, she's got the TV, he's on his phone. My wife is upstairs asleep on the sofa. So, Owen, nice and quiet. It is the PCB based holder. It's got to be good for something. I'm hesitant to order all the parts for it because I can't name the connectors, and I've got lots of 4-cell holders, but there isn't the revenue or money around to buy the 3-cell holders at the moment. So it's I think I can hear snoring. So it's the other half of the cat. Hmm. Twenty to 10. Now we're caught up, we might as well do something. Found it easier to put like a towel or soft surface down after doing one side. It gives you better. It stops you from damaging either the glass cells or roughing up the connections below. Seems to be a good option. Which PCB? I'm talking about one of these things down here. Because I've recently got hold of some laptop cells or tablet cells, but they're not 18650's. They're lithium cells, but not as we know it, or not as I know it, not as I'm used to dealing with. I got the obviously the Opus BTC 3100s, and they're good for discharging the lithium 18650s. But unfortunately, when you've got loads of these, it's pretty hard to plug them into a holder, an 18650 holder. So I picked up 4 of these with the funds of YouTube AdSense, and it comes with 2 resistors, one's in there, two's in there, and obviously with the help of some in stock or surplus crocodile clips and a USB lead, you can plug your cell in one end, set the discharge voltage, and it will discharge either with the two resistors in series, 2 5-watt resistors. Will discharge at first 1 amp, and then obviously as the voltage of the battery drops off, then the discharge current does drop off as well. Not the same as the Opus constant current load, but eventually it will give you a capacity reading at the bottom end. I can't tell if you can see that in focus, but you're looking at, let's wait for it to go around again. You've got 2.194 amp hours, 400 milliamp, 4.9 amp, almost 500 milliamps discharge, and the battery is at 3.5 volts. So it does well. Just got to take it with a pinch of salt because it's not discharging at constant current, but it's I think I will be buying some more, to be honest. They've done well so far. They've done a few cells, and I certainly do have a surplus of these cells. So I've got about 15 in there, about 2.5 amp hours each, to be going into the van box, plus others of varying. The trouble is, they're not a standard size. They're all different sizes. 1, 2, 3. Hang on. 4. Okay, no, I should put that underneath, but you get the drift. They're not one standard size. It's really annoying. I've got like 4 different sizes. Yeah, I found a pretty good use for them as well. I'll show you in 1 second. I've had this in stock for a while. It's just a little QI power bank with obviously USB on the front. You can charge it from QI, you can discharge it from QI. And because I'm cheap and poor and my phone is broken, the only way I can charge my phone now is on QI. It's got a few cracks and smashes and things, but it keeps going. But I can't afford the excess on the insurance just to get the screen changed. And if I get the screen changed, I'll say, oh, I stopped charging. But so the only way I can charge my phone is off QI or Qi. Yeah, the good thing about pouch cells, you can tell pretty much instantly if they're going to be any good. Normally, you can tell the ones that are worth testing by how rigid they are, and obviously you can tell that one's gone all wrinkly. There is no getting away from the fact that that cell is a bust, and I'll give them the dues. They don't get hot. I've got about 60 tested pouch cells, and they don't get hot. Not on their own. Under charge, discharge, they don't get hot. I've not found one that does. But if they're dead or dying, then there is slack. There is a definite slack in the outer case of the pouch. So they are very easy to diagnose whether they're going to be any good or worth testing. But not only that, they have a higher... I've rubbed it off now. That was a 3492 watt hours. What is that in real terms? Not doing the maths off the top of my head at this time of night. Let's say 3.5 amp hours times 3.7. That's 12.95 watt hours. Technically, 4 of them together is enough power to run my old 42-inch TV for 1 hour. Madness. And it was free. Yeah, pocket USB charger. Your phone dies every 5 hours. Well, it depends how much you use it. I can normally get through most of the day without charging my phone, but it takes longer to do it on that than it does from a fast charger. It's just hell. One of the reasons why manufacturers like them, though, is always a pouch cell that fits your product. They haven't put a pouch cell on a power wall yet, though, have they? Okay, right, we've got 17 people in the room. We've been going almost 2 hours. We have our first... we have our first foreigner. No, that's alright, I'm joking. We've got a DCG is the first visitor from across the pond. And I've got to ask, what time is it where you are? Because it's 10 to 10 where I am. It's, well, getting pretty late because they've changed the clocks. It is pretty much 11 o'clock my bedtime, but, you know. So... Where exactly are you from, and what made you watch my channel and join the stream? I've been trying to get on with things, but people keep talking to me. I completely missed it. I'll have to go back through his channel to see where Mr. Kennett put his pouch cells. Like Mr. HB Powerwall, Mr. Kennett, and Jehu, I tend to watch every video that comes up with a passion sort of thing, but I missed that. He's in New Zealand. We are in sunny England. Miami, Florida. So you got the sun but not the water. Kel, 10 to 10. Love all things solar. Are you a subscriber, or do you just like wander through? Oh dear. I definitely hear snoring from upstairs. Right, if if my other half ever watches this videos, which she probably won't ever get this far because this is a pretty long stream, where I'm sitting underneath in the undercroft, the man cave, the sofa is there, and I can hear snoring coming from above, and it's not the cat. I did say when I came back from using the loo that it has started raining in the south of England. US stuff. Oh, that's good. That's brilliant. If I look at the demographics of my channel, most of the viewers seem to be from either Europe, not England, or America, which is quite interesting, really, because most of the channels I subscribe to are American sort of thing, but there doesn't seem to be that much. Obviously, there isn't that much call for that sort of thing in this country because everyone's boring. So, as you're a sub and you're not in Booby since the Roby robbery. Oh, fair enough, yeah. If I ever catch them. Thing is, the Americans love their Roby tools. It's Roby or Rigid or Milwaukee. And there's a lot of Americans that are fanatics for Roby stuff. And I'll be honest, I use it day in, day out as a tradesperson. I've only destroyed one drill. Okay, some tools can be a little bit slower than maybe the professional branded tools, but you get them in the end. I've only burnt out one drill. I've lost a couple of things. I've had to repair several batteries. Everyone takes the mick out of me, but they just keep going. And the only trouble I got with Roby is they don't treat the UK market as well as they treat their Australian and their American market, and it's causing me to be in two minds. And I am a collector. Sometimes I buy a tool if it's cheap and there, just because it might come in handy one day, and it's frustrating because every time they post up a picture of, oh look, here's a new tool on their Facebook or their Twitter, it's like, well, when you're bringing us your 6 and 9 amp hour batteries, because America and Australia have got them, right? And I've taken to becoming quite the social media troll. It brings me immense enjoyment. Obviously I don't like it when the things happen to me, but you know, I feed my trolls. There's a little 10-watt LED floodlight by Ryobi, and I can't get it for love nor money. And there's been certain things that I have imported from America just because I couldn't get it in the UK. But I can't get hold of the 10-watt floodlight. 420 is just too much. So, as there's now 16 of you in the room, we dropped one, don't know who. Whether I'm in the background or on full screen or I'm minimised in a window on the side, what can I do to improve this channel? What can I do to obviously engage my viewers a bit more? Obviously I am sometimes near, sometimes far, but I'm pretty close on the email side of things. If you ever want to get hold of me for whatever reason, I might not pick it up there and then, but I can normally get an email back to you same day, if not 12 hours later. Pretty busy of late. not been well. That's why I've been trying to do live streams. I've got something that can't shift. Started off with a chest infection and just like it's caused me a lot of trouble. But I'm never far away on the email. You can find my email address on the front page of the channel. I do have a Facebook page. Don't have many people on my Facebook page, and I'd like to kind of engage that a little bit more. I think it's called Pete's Page. It's a little Facebook thing on the front. It's easier for me to get back to people on Facebook and email than it is on a YouTube comment. I don't find the system particularly intuitive. And yeah, so yeah, join Pete's page or send me an email if you've got a burning question that can't really like get through to me on my comment section. But yeah, just never be afraid to give me criticism. Yeah, add me. I've got a couple of photos up in the last couple of days, but it's been pretty bare in the last 7 weeks because I've not been well. Yeah, as I say, I'm near and far. I've thrown it away. It's half a leg on it. I realise I'm not leaving this stream until I've done it again, until I've got the copper bars on this thing, because my original intention was actually to get the extra copper bars on here before I went to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I'm running out of beer. I'm normal. Oh dear. Little resistors. It says 270R, but it was a multi-pack. Don't tell me I'm going to come unstuck because I'm using little resistance. There's a multi-pack. Oh no! Hang on, that says 3K9s and 270Rs. I guess you're not going to tell me after hundreds of spot welds that me resistors legs are probably better than my fuses. Bit my tongue. So the answer to that is basically it's a multi-pack of resistors, so it's not kind of like, but they all feel the same sort of gauge. Have I done something bad? Oh yeah. Okay, here's something different. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I watch all sorts of channels. I watch blogs, vlogs, gaming channels, solar channels, the electric car like news, environmental stuff, documentaries, stuff on war, tanks, all sorts of military stuff. What is your most watched channel? What is a channel that you can recommend to me that I should be watching? I'm always on YouTube. Sometimes if I have a slow day I can be on YouTube 8 hours a day, and the sad thing is YouTube now tells you how many hours you spend on there a day, especially watching videos. Obviously not like perusing, but what channel should I really be watching? Who have I missed out? And I'll let you know who I've subscribed to. You can have the resistor, but it's got no legs on it. We get a pen. What was that? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Project Blinky. We've got Project Blinky to look at. AVE, yeah, he's brilliant. Keep your water in a vice. And we got IKS. IKS Exploration. See if I can read that in the morning. Blinky. What does Blinky do? AVE. Yeah, AVE is good. AVE is. He's a funny what's it? A supercharged mini. Clever. Right. I've got to go for a pit stop. About 4 cells on that side, and I think there's 4 in there that we can't do till we've got the buzz bars on. I'm not leaving this stream until I've got these soldered on, so actually I'll tell you what, I'm going to spot over the last few cells and get the soldering iron warming up prior to soldering that on. And then I've got to go indoors again. Yeah, 4 more cells, clear off for a bit, come back and solder. I can't help it. I've been put on these really strong steroids and it's destroyed my bladder. Right, 3 cells. Two cells. 1 cell. Magic. Right, they do. Right, okay. Roughly tacked in. Doesn't matter because I've got to go over all these joints with solder because the nickel strip is rubbish. It's not actually nickel strip, it's copper coated. No, nickel coated. Nickel coated. Still. So when I come back very shortly, I'm just going to solder these on top. Unplug the welder. Plug in the soldering iron. I'm just going to visit the loo, grab another beer, and we'll come back. Just going to check the comments quickly. Josh is back. David's 5 years old now. You should have a way to click. Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, no, it's true. Alright, we've got Stu110 looking good. Stu, where are you from? Are you in the UK? We've got 17 in from the chat. We got 1 across the pond in America, in Florida. We've been busy. I don't know how long we've been going now, but I'm not leaving till I've got these last 2 copper bars soldered on. Put some words in the comments, and I'll be back with another beer and just going to visit the loo. Mark's just back again. Right, yes, give us a couple of minutes. I'll be back. Chat amongst yourselves. And continue letting us know who you are subbing to and what YouTube channels that I'm missing. I spend a lot of time on YouTube and need to know who you watch so I can spend more time on YouTube. We've got another one in the UK, so we've only got 1 foreigner. Sorry, mate. It's interesting. What time is it in America anyway? So I don't know. Right, I'll be back very shortly. Need beer. Oh dear. We are back. I am back. Let's have a quick catch up. Quick summary. Still got 17 people in the room. Have to go backwards in the chat to find out what I've missed. 2 hours 10 minutes. Jesus. That's fair. What have I achieved in 2 hours 10 minutes? "54 positive connections, 54 negative connections." Actually, -4. We've glued the fake nickel strip, the nickel coated steel strip, onto the sill holders and talked a lot. Oh dear. $17.10. Oh, 5:10 in the evening in America. It's not too bad. Maybe everyone's coming home from work and gonna like tune into my channel and watch my live stream. I doubt it, because I won't be able to much longer once I've done this. Isn't nothing wrong with being a nerd. Keeps me going. Average Joe, yeah. Average Joe. Yeah, I normally miss the live chats as well, because they're all in America or Australia, and there isn't anybody doing them when I'm in and around. So we need to get more of the UK community, some of the YouTube stars of England and Europe, to do more streams. Adam, your turn. Can't be that hard to set up. I managed to get one going in the end. It took 45 minutes of mucking around, but we got there in the end. Unexpected maker. Okay, I'm going to need another laptop battery cell to screw this on. Okay, unexpected maker is putting out lots of content. That's good. Sometimes I come down in the morning and I sub to hundreds of channels, and some weeks, some days, there's nothing to watch. Nothing good to watch. Click spring. Brilliant. Right, I think I've got everything. So, next bit is to solder this on. We're a little bit out of shot. Now a little bit in shot. I'm very lucky to have the privilege to have procured enough solder to last me my lifetime. I don't have to be shy about spreading it about. So on the negative side, on this adapted bank, it's easy for me to just chuck this 100-watt soldering iron across these center terminals and solder these ones in place. There isn't too much bother about it. Didn't take long. I think I'll just suffer out the lead fumes for tonight and get the extraction unit in tomorrow or next week. I'll be honest, the other packs have been taken out to the other shed. It's a little bit airier, have the door open, the fumes tend to pass by me. I don't have any trouble at all. Obviously I soldered these ones, but I just want to put a solder on just in case. Makes things a whole lot easier in this area. Let's get to the end. I guess maybe it would have been easier for me to cut my losses at this point and just go straight to a larger size copper buzz bar, but my OCD says 4 out of 7 have got this bar on already. Just solder it on top. Do you see what I see? Broken tab there. So obviously before doing this I checked all the cells at the same voltage. Not going to get any nuclear effects. Has anyone got any idea how much capacity is stored in this bank here? It's only a small one, it's only 16 cells. There's 15 across here by 4 minus the 6 to give us our 120 amp hours. Oh, giving it away. Cody's Lab's good, yeah. Yeah, Cody's Lab's good. A bit above my head sometimes, but that's where it goes. Not too much. Is there too much beer? Not me, eh? Unknown voice. All these are recycled. This is actually a Sanyo pack. Lots of people would frown upon that, but it's going on the wall anyway. I've got notes. I've got for this 7 series pack of 60 cells. We got a Sanyo, we got a Panasonic, we got a Samsung, we got 2 unbranded, and got a Sanyo and a couple others, but I can't think off the top of my head because they're out there. So this set of 7 series cells comprises 60 cells. Obviously there is a brand specific theme. My first pack was completely random. My second set of 7 series cells is branded. My third one, it looks like it's Samsung Sanyo, LG, Panasonic, and I can't tell from the others. Samsung. LG, Sanyo, Samsung. So yeah, the third set is going to be brand specific, and the fourth set I don't know yet. Where's the fourth set? I can't see it, but yeah, brand specific, capacity specific. Piles of stuff. I'll write it down anyway. I'm starting to feel tired. Let me know I got up at 5:30 this morning, out of the house at 7. Back at 6. Cook dinner, clean up, and straight into this. So I can certainly say I've had a busy day. No heat in this bar yet, so it takes a while to get the first few on, but once you've got a few degrees Celsius in the bar, it tends to take off. I've lost my favourite screwdriver for now. Piles of stuff, liquid in the one. Okay, I must have missed something. Get a little bit on there. And continue. Never planned to do this on the other packs, but this calls for a little bit more caution. Just can't do one pack letting down the next. Ooh. Yeah, photo. Where is he? Photonic induction. Yeah, he said troubles. He runs a very successful business and can't get the person he loves into this country, then there isn't any reason in the world why he shouldn't pack up his business and move to another country. If anything, the UK government has failed that chap. Poor chap. What they've done is completely unfair. I watched that video. It's not fair. Completely out of order. Who else we got? David Ball from across the Thames. How far across the Thames? That's the question. I'm southeast England, so Kent. Without giving too much away. So, 1 second. I'll be right with you. Essex. I think we've got about 3 people from Essex. It's quite interesting. How are the people in Essex doing for 18650's? Because there was a chap with quite a surplus around Braintree. Originally from Croydon. But if you're in Essex, then you might be able to get hold of this chap for some sales if he's got any left. I think his name is Glenn. So if you're on the Powerwall DIY Powerwall forum, then you might be able to get hold of him. He's on there still. Very clever chap. He's developed a I can't think of off the top of my head. I'd say 40 kilowatt Powerwall. Not based on what I'm doing here, but based on these cell holders. And I can't remember if it's doing 8s or 10s, but spot welding or soldering 10 cells in parallel going out from each one of these, and then this is paralleled up to give I think he had a 48 volt Powerwall. He lives it's like a farm, a llama and goat farm, I think, and the connection for UK Power Networks to connect him up was substantially more than he spent on the off-grid equipment. He's gone quiet on the forum, I think, because he's achieved what he wants to. But last time I spoke to him, he still had cells left, and that was probably about 6 months ago. But I think they're £2.50 a pack. They're all 6-cell packs, and if you buy enough, he throws in all the odds of 2s and 3s and 4-cell packs just to get rid of them. We'll add that 90% of the cells that I had off of him were good. However, if you're anti-Sanyo, then avoid the Lenovo packs he has. Needs just a bit more solder. But apart from Glen, there isn't really that much in the way of suppliers of 18650's in England. There isn't the surplus or availability that we seem to see in other countries. Considering we're a first world country, we would think there'd be a few more cells about. So if you're new to the stream or not commenting or watching me in the background, what you're seeing me do is add a 4.5mm copper buzz bar comprising obviously 3 cores of 1.5mm squared copper to a nickel coated steel strip, after finding out that I have somehow purchased or inherited from a good supplier a poor quality or fake nickel strip product, which is annoying because I'm doing more work than I should have had to do with a pure product, but I'm gonna roll with it because I need to get this done. Also, from the UK, though I haven't bought through them yet, I would recommend having a look at Bimble Solar for your off-grid supplies, solar panels and things like that. There seem to be some good deals on Bimble Solar. £99 for 250 watt used solar panel and various others. Sorry, fizzy beer. I've got my heart set on some 390 watt solar panels, which are also rated at 500 watt. I've just discovered the reason why. I've run out of buzzwire. They're 390 watt, but sized as 500 due to them having a translucent or clear back covering, allowing sunlight that refracts off of products or roofing tiles and things behind it to reflect light back into the solar panel, thus increasing a 390 watt solar panel into a 500 watt. £310 a piece for LG panels. Ooh. I think I might have to introduce Super Chat. Fund my solar panel. Unfortunately, I'm British. I don't ask for money. I'd rather you just watch my adverts so I can earn a penny a go or whatever it is. Oh, someone's going upstairs to bed. That'll about do. Got some pliers here somewhere. I don't know where they've gone. Got 18 now. I think that's the most we've ever had. Not bad for a Friday night. Gonna meet me. Ah, there we go. The other half has gone to bed. Oh dear. So, who we got now? We've got 18 still. Who we got? Who's new? Who's new? You missed your 18650 project so much. But unfortunately, I cannot pronounce. I don't speak. I don't speak Russian. Is it Russian? I don't know. So, damaged or cracked solar panels for £20 each. It would be good. Let's have a look. Josh, where's Josh from? I can't scroll that far back. So, are you one of those in Essex? Because it could be pretty handy, but in the long run, I would like to get one of these magic 390 watt solar panels, so I can put a mirror behind it and like see if it actually made a difference compared to a white background. It's one of those things you got to try, haven't you? I could sling £20 at anyone for a solar panel that's damaged. So, without paying too much care and attention, we've got a crimp lug on there. Got our crimping tool. Normally I don't do this on a bench, so it's very difficult to line this up, and if I mess it up, then tough luck. Is that insane? That's insane. I can click it so far, but I'm going to squash my thumb or something, so I'm going to have to take that away to crimp the rest. It has crossed over. It's not the end of the world. There's a little bit of play in these. Just going to double crimp it and I'll solder it up tight later. There's certainly enough play to get these in and about. It's a 16mm crimp with about 9mm copper. It'll do for now. It's not the end of the world. Where are we looking now? I'm running what I got on 6 80 watt 12 volt panels, wired series parallel. I've not done too bad. I've got all the data for this year. Obviously I'm dumping any excess solar power into a 5 litre container. If I can use it, I use it. If I don't, then it goes cold for the next morning. But I want to figure out how much solar power that I can generate in where I am in the southeast. Plus we have an unseasonably warm, hot, sunny year, so it might be slightly less next year. But obviously I can size my prove that I can run certain things off that next year. Obviously got to use the power to store the power. I think I've discovered fairly recently, David, that 12 volt is a false economy, because obviously looking at Bimble Solar and various other websites, 24 volt or 40 volt nominal voltage solar panels at about 175 watts upwards seems to go less than £1 a watt, whereas 12 volt, you could say solar camping or caravan solar panels or flexible solar panels seem to be a false economy, because they seem to cost either £1 a watt or more. It's really quite demoralising, because obviously I'd prefer 12 volt panels because I can configure them how I want, because I'm indecisive. I'm going to check my I've got to check my inverter voltage, because It's 120 watts on the laptop. Been running 2 hours and plus other stuff. So I just need to check the voltage. Right, solar panel, battery voltage is 25.5 volts for a 7S pack. Not the end of the world just yet. I don't tend to take it much lower than what it is. I missed a few comments here. We've got Josh saying Josh says there's panels available at a reduced price because they're damaged. Dave says he wouldn't hesitate to get the lot. He's an enlisted building. Translate says the other life. Right, okay. I will click on it after the stream has finished uploaded and subscribe. What sort of content you got up there, and let us know if you subscribed and what time it is where you are. What country are you in? Interesting to know, because we got everyone else in the room is obviously is mostly in England. We've got one across the pond. I don't know if he's still around. I think he might have gone to bed. Just interesting to know, because most of the demographic or the stats say most of my subs or watchers are either in Europe or America. There's no sort of English contingent in numbers compared to everyone else. Yeah, 12 volt is an off-grid niche, 36 cells in a panel. It kind of was the in thing, but obviously now there's so many off-grid grid-tied setups at 24 volts or 40 volts nominal per panel. It's driven the price down, which is good. It's good. It just means we have to upgrade to have to upgrade to 24 volt systems off grid or MPPT. What have I missed on here? I got tagged in the post. Where I'm going next week is rainy. Yeah, damn right. Even if you go off grid, you still have to think about your usage. I mean, you can size your solar system to suit what you're using, or you can downsize certain things. That's why I run a, you could say, high-performance laptop, although it's seen better days, rather than a computer, because whilst it might get a little bit warm at times, it is much more efficient to run this laptop than it is to run a desktop. Plus I can take it wherever I want, play games, do stuff, edit videos, all sorts of things. Just going to get to the end of this 5 and then I'll have a look at the comments. What I'm doing is over soldering the welded connections because the nickel coated steel strip causing me trouble when I'm welding to it, so it's causing holes and things, and then I'll put a copper bar over the top just for this set of 7 cells, 60 in parallel, 7 in series, because I can't really afford to be stripping all this back to make good. Dave Ball says, am I qualified to install consumer units? I am through the company that I'm trading with. If I did it by myself, I'm not, because there's a competent trader scheme. I talk about a swap or a brand new install to go along with the new building sort of thing. If it's commercial, no problem, I can do it off my own back, but if I need to do it in a domestic environment, I have to be part of a competent trader scheme or competent person scheme, because it has to be signed off under Part P, and you have to send it to a bit of the certificate to the council. So whilst it ties up the perfectly good innocent electricians, it doesn't stop Joe from Steve from down the pub from picking one up from B&Q and doing it for like half the price. So it doesn't really stop the cowboys, but yeah, I am qualified, yeah. Oh, so you're struggling to find someone to install a new consumer unit along with some transfer switches off grid. Are you thinking about transfer? Hang on, Dave. Are you thinking about? Are you doing one transfer switch to transfer your entire house load off grid, as in one click turns your entire house over to off grid, or are you thinking about certain circuits? Interesting. The other life does trucking in the USA, and we drive around the USA, Canada. We post lifestyle visit in Russia. Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah. I will click the button later on and have a look. Mr. Blink 182 song says hello. Dave says I think 24 volt is best and use best buck converters. Yeah, yeah, buck converters. That's how I do everything. if I need to. This inverter is a 12-volt inverter running off a 27-volt, 25.9 nominal system. I use a 40-amp step-down converter, which is solid state, little aluminium cast things, 40-amp, to drop the 27 volts normally down to 12 volts to run this inverter. So highly efficient, but it's been running for over a year now, and I can't fault it one bit. Yeah, we can sit on here for all 4 seasons in one day. It's what we get used to, and it's what we're good at moaning about. Certainly. I mean, if we didn't have the weather to moan about, what would we have? I just remembered I didn't have a sip of beer. I'm starting to feel the effects. Very tired. Overtired. But as the stream is going so well, we need to finish this. Need to get this last copper bar on. Gotta finish my beer. Should have cleaned that off first before I say goodnight. I've got 2 more packs to do on this set of 7 series 60 parallel packs. And the sooner I get it done, the sooner I can set up on the shed ready for the new year and go from there. So I'm just doing what I can in the long run, or for the long run. Oh, I failed. If anyone's interested, my soldering skills haven't got any better. Just the way it is. Just can't teach some people. So you only want to transfer certain circuits. There's not any reason that you can't do that yourself. It's not above the realms of learning. Just need to put a decent test meter on your switch first. Make sure that you've definitely got everything in the right place first before you flip the switch. Because there's nothing worse than putting 240 volts down a 240 volt inverter, because it does tend to smoke quite a bit if you get it wrong. So people won't quote because they've not done it before. I have one concern, which I haven't actually resolved yet, because I've not had a word with the NIC EIC assessor yet. Hang on. And that's the earthing arrangement that you need to put in place. Because I can't see, and I've looked at the book, and I can't see once you go from your consuming it, supply side, you're consuming it RCD, MCB, you turn that transfer switch and you've lost your RCD protection. Now technically you shouldn't be able to get a deadly shock because there is no potentially, because it's it's a battery, and then you've got your inverter, and then it's a rotary switch which transfers you from grid to off grid. So technically, providing that is your equipment is not like extraneous and doesn't import a different potential, then technically there's no risk and no need for RCD protection. But in my mind, because it's sort of ingrained that if you have power or something that's not installed to the regulations as such, then it should have an RCD on it, and I've not bridged that gap yet, so I would be hesitant to do it for yourself just yet until I've had my next assessment and been able to approach this with them. There isn't a set course, there isn't a set of guidelines, there isn't anything that sort of bridges that gap. If you're using a generator, then yes, like a petrol generator, there is guidance. There's no guidance for an off-grid system that I've seen. If someone knows of it, then I'll be keen to know. But I can't see, obviously, a separate setup which doesn't bring in import or bring in any different potential. Then there's no risk of electric shock, even if you hold it. Obviously, if you hold between live and neutral, then it's going to hurt. But it's something that sticks at the back of my mind. It's annoying. We lost a few. We're down to 12. Found a B22 on the. Is it legal for you to do it? Well, it's not illegal. It's your house at the end of the day. It's I can't. If you're in America, a transfer switch would be a standard thing. Lots of states, lots of places have transfer switches for swapping over to generator, especially during storms and things, and lots of places are rural, all supplied via telegraph pole systems. Hardly any of it's buried. So transfer switch would be like, we've had a few power cuts, let's have a transfer switch so I can plug a generator in. But it's not so much in the book in the UK in the big, well, soon to be 18th edition regulations. Missed a few there. It's not. At the end of the day, my job is to make sure technically everything is earthed. I don't know. It's something I need to bridge with my assessor to see about the earthing arrangements. It's kind of fiddly and difficult, and he always tries to catch you out on things that you're not expecting. He doesn't like questions like that. But you can do it in your house. It's not really a problem. There was a place on eBay that was selling the transfer switches. I can't take a photo of the one that I've got in the man cave. It does a little 3-way consumer unit, sockets, lights, and there was going to be a heating circuit, which is redundant at the moment. But I think I did a video a little while back where I used a meter to test out which was which before I actually plugged it in, because I had never done it before. It's not something I'm trained to do, but if you're competent and you're sure, try it out on a little cheapy inverter first before you plug in your high quality good inverter, because if you do get it wrong, you'll only pop your cheap one. So yeah, go for it. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with being confident in what you're doing. Certainly if I was doing this, if I'd done this for a private client or for the business, I would be concerned too. But yeah, go for it. Are my panels grounded? My solar panels? No. Every time there's a thunderstorm, I keep thinking I should have run an earth wire. But touch wood, they haven't struck my solar panels yet. It's one of those things. I'll get round to it when I destroy my entire solar system. Yeah, so there was a company in the UK that did the transfer switches that I used. I think they had 20 and 40 amp. When I had a look, I don't know if I can find out who I bought them through. Let's have a look on eBay purchases. It's going to take a little bit of scrolling to get this, but I've got beer, so it doesn't matter. Oh no! Right, okay, there it is. It's there. It says unavailable, so I can't even click it to find out who I bought it from. April. That's annoying. I must change the app because I can't even figure out who I bought it from. 40 amp IP65 changeover switch. If you can see that. But then again, it's a good brand, good supplier. Yeah, if I don't find out who sold it, badger me and I'll have a quick look on eBay to see if I can find one the same. That's pretty intuitive to install for you. Down to 12. I've got a few soldered connections to make before I go to bed. It is 10 past 11 in the evening. Worn out, I'm tired, I'm like overworked, underpaid. And then again, I pay myself, so I've only got myself to blame. The other half is gone to bed. Ooh, we may have made a mistake here. Let me know if you see what I see. Obviously, it's only a small screen from where I am. In effect, we've missed a few connections. It's Friday night. Where is everyone going? Down to 11, down to 10. Join in, give us a shout. I'm pretty sure there's not like 10 people commenting on these actions or whatever, what we're doing. If you're still with us, let us know what I can do to improve the channel. Obviously, I'm having trouble getting content up, that's why we're doing live streams, or trying to. We've had teething troubles, we're getting through it. Learning new things, and trying to appease the masses. Haha. Has anyone figured out what I missed out yet? It would turn out I missed out a row of cells, cell fuses. But unfortunately I'm going to have to do that tomorrow morning. I've literally run out of steam. Running on empty. Ready for bed. That's what. Almost there. Almost there. So how much in the way of capacity do we have on this little pack here? I have one little guess before we pack up this live stream. When it gets nothing. Yeah, Dave got it. Missed out a row of cells. Obviously I'm watching this on a tiny little screen on my left and I've got the chat on the right on a tablet. It's very difficult for me to see what you're actually seeing in detail. Obviously I've got the soldering iron on, so I don't really want to fire up the thing now. So let's just say with the chat and everything else, it's taken just over 2 hours to get that assembled. Obviously the cell holders already re-sleeved already, just the solder connections and the welding connections. So we've really done double job for here because we've got poor quality nickel strip along with a soldered connection. 120 amp hours. Adam has hit it on the nail. And what's that in watt hours? About 444 last time I looked. So 7 cells together, about 3 kilowatts usable. Of course we're never going to use that power unless we really have to. These are of course the second-hand cells, as are all of them. So really what we really want to do is oversize the battery, oversize the solar setup, which is pretty much impossible where I'm living, and try and nurse these cells as much as possible so they give us the best run time. So yeah, I've only got 2 more packs of these to do of this 7. If you want this sort of live stream, if you want to talk to me, if you want it put up, then I will. Trying to find somewhere to balance these packs. Oh, let's stay here for now. I'll do the last few spot welds tomorrow morning because I'm absolutely shattered. Of course I had a couple of beers and well, what a fun way to spend a Friday evening, eh? Make sure the soldering iron's unplugged. I've got a couple of cells still discharging. I've got one that's failed at 1734 on these prism pouch cells. So I'm just going to scribble. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'll show you. This one's come up at 1734 amp hours, but there's nothing in the grand scheme of things when some are coming up over 3 amp hours or just under 3 amp hours. 2957, of course, free of charge, gonna go in the bin. So best make use out of them now before they get recycled. I've got a couple of these that come up low. I'm just going to discharge them again. just to give them a couple of cycles if they're low. If they're not low, then I'll leave them. Yeah, so I'm making inroads. I've got some, let's say I've got plenty of these small pouch cells to go into a project. I've got some slightly longer ones to go into a project. If you can see, it's like size distance. I've got some fat skinny ones to go into a project, and some long skinny ones to go into a project. I've got Mr. Jehu's version 1.1 boards to play with, so I'm a man of many pies and things like that. Many fingers, many pies, nothing quite gets finished. Half a job, Bob. How long for start to finish? How long from start to finish? So far it's been about a year. It's been about a year to get almost 6 kilowatts of cells assembled. But I'm on strict time constraints, very busy, self-employed, so I've got to work when the work is there. If I'm busy, then I have to work. If I'm not busy, then I get the time. And this last 8 weeks have been very busy for me. I haven't been particularly well. I had a cold that led to a chest infection, which led to several visits to hospital and things like that. Not very nice at all. Plus getting the kitchen sorted and things. So I've been working from sometimes 7 in the morning till 11 at night. It's just worn me right down. So you're very lucky to get me for this amount of time. For me to be this talkative, we thank the beer. And yeah, so I'm here for the weed is good for the soul. Smoke weed, be happy. No weed. Sleep and beer. So I'm here for the next couple of minutes, just say goodbye to everyone. I'd like to thank everyone who subscribes and watches my videos. Let us know what we can do to improve this channel. Obviously not quite FaceTime, but good quality videos gets the people in, earns the monies, keeps the subscribers happy. I am quite easy to reach via the Facebook page, which is on the main channel, Pete's page on Facebook, or the email address. My personal email address is up there as well. Let us know what you think. I'm open to anything. I'm not particularly functional or tidy at the moment. We need to get 6 kilowatts up and running by the new year, so I can introduce my new monitoring system. Yeah, I am very much almost talked out. Everything seems to be taking my time at the moment, and I've got about 4 months to get the house entirely finished and decorated. I have a deadline. Oh dear. I have a whiteboard behind me because it's handy. Hasn't currently been used, I don't think. But I'm going to put a little announcement up on the board if I can find a dry white marker. One that works. So you have to watch this part of the video to actually ascertain what I'm saying. If I can find a dry white marker, that is. If you're not watching this part of the video, if it's in the background, and I know there's only 9 of you, I'm going to make an announcement. The reason why the reason why I'm on a deadline for the decorating and getting all sorts of things done is because coming if you can even no, you can't even read that, can you? Right, okay. On the 1st of March 2019 I am expecting my first child. 1st of March, that's the deadline to get everything done, dusted, sorted, whether it be my first child. So we're currently 4.5 months in, and obviously I'm not going to say that at the beginning of the stream because it's kind of like anticlimactic. If you're here at the end, you get the announcements. 1st of March, I get my first child. Couple of minutes to get the reactions. If not, I'm going to bed because I've had enough. A baby boy. An heir, nonetheless. Was Adam right? Yeah. As soon as you said deadline, yeah, the best thing you ever do. Yeah, Dave, yeah. Scary as all hell, especially being self-employed. You never know when the next invoice is going to get paid. Don't worry, there's money in the bank. Just got to be savvy, that's the thing. Knowledge. Well, yeah, I suppose it's knowledge, yeah. Yeah. So it's I'm 30 years old, tired, stressed. I'm pretty happy. Yeah. So I've got things to do. I've got yeah, I think I'm tired now. Yeah. Trouble is, I've got to scale back on things, haven't I? I've got to preserve myself for later on. Well, I'm going to shrink that down because my face is not best pleasing. Half 11, or 25 past 11 on a Friday night. We have no idea how long we'll be going on. Isn't any chance in hell anyone's going to watch this far. No, I think we're safe. Right, I'll bid everyone farewell, good night, and I will hopefully be able to achieve some sort of stream. I don't know, Monday isn't going to happen.